How do regulators and companies manage medicine risks after approval? A medicine can be authorized because its benefits outweigh its risks, yet that judgment can change with wider use, longer exposure, and new patient groups. This video explains the risk management cycle, the European Union Risk Management Plan, safety concerns, minimization measures, signal management, and regulatory action. Authorization rests on a judgment that a medicine's benefits outweigh its risks in the approved indication and patient population. That judgment is provisional because rare, delayed, and population-specific risks often remain unknown at authorization. Risk management is a continuous cycle of characterizing risks, planning how to learn more, acting to reduce harm, and checking whether those actions worked. The aim is not a risk-free medicine. It is a residual risk that is known, communicated, and acceptable against the benefit. Under GVP Module 5, this cycle is documented for each product in a risk management plan. The module came into effect on 31 March 2017 and governs European Union risk management systems for marketing authorization holders, the European Medicines Agency, and national competent authorities. Companies must submit a risk management plan when applying for a marketing authorization in the European Union. These plans must be proportionate to the identified risks and to the post-authorization data still needed. The European Union Risk Management Plan has 7 parts. Part 1 gives the product overview, including the active substance, indications, formulations, and regulatory status. Part 2 is the safety specification. And Part 3 is the Pharmacovigilance plan, including post-authorization safety studies. Part 4 covers plans for post-authorization efficacy studies. Part 5 sets out risk minimization measures and how their effectiveness will be evaluated. Part 6 is the summary of the risk management plan written for a public audience. Part 7 contains annexes such as protocols, study reports, and additional risk minimization materials. The plan is a living document, updated when safety concerns change, when milestones fall due, or when regulators request it. Since 20 October 2023, the European Medicines Agency publishes full plans for centrally authorized products, not just the summary. Part 2 contains 8 modules, from S1 to S8, that build a structured picture of what is and is not known about safety. These cover epidemiology of the indication, non-clinical data, clinical trial exposure, populations not studied, post-authorization experience, additional European Union requirements, identified and potential risks, and the summary of safety concerns. Together, they organize the evidence that supports later planning and risk minimization. Safety concerns fall into 3 categories. Important, identified risks have sufficient scientific evidence that the medicine causes them. Important, potential risks have grounds for suspicion, but not proof. Missing information means there are gaps in knowledge about safety in an anticipated use where the safety profile may differ. A concern is important when it affects the benefit-risk balance or warrants further evaluation or risk minimization. One illustrative case involves a new oral medicine for adults approaching authorization. Several trial cases of hepatocellular injury meeting Hy's Law criteria with positive D-challenge are classified as an important identified risk. A small mean QTc increase seen non-clinically and in the thorough QT study without clinical arrhythmias is an important potential risk. Severe renal impairment was excluded from all trials, so safety in that group is missing information. Mild transient nausea is not important and stays out of the safety concerns list. Part 3 explains how each safety concern will be further characterized and how the effectiveness of risk minimization will be measured. Routine pharmacovigilance includes collecting and managing individual case safety reports, signal detection, periodic safety update reports, product information updates, and any specific follow-up questionnaires. These are the standard activities used across products to maintain oversight after authorization. Additional pharmacovigilance activities are designed to address a specific safety concern. They can include non-clinical studies, clinical trials, and non-interventional studies. ICH E2E reached Step 4 on 18 November 2004 and pairs a safety specification with a pharmacovigilance plan as the international template. Its annex lists methods such as passive surveillance, stimulated reporting, active surveillance, comparative observational studies, targeted clinical investigations, and descriptive studies. GVP Module 8 covers post-authorization safety studies. A post-authorization safety study aims to identify, characterize, or quantify a safety hazard, confirm the safety profile, or measure the effectiveness of risk management measures. It may be a clinical trial or a non-interventional study using routinely collected healthcare data and epidemiological methods. Post-authorization efficacy studies sit in Part 4 of the Risk Management Plan and answer remaining efficacy questions rather than safety questions. Under GVP Module 9, a signal is information suggesting a new, potentially causal association or a new aspect of a known association between an intervention and an event. The process moves through signal detection, validation, confirmation, analysis and prioritization, assessment, and then recommendation for action. Validation asks whether there is enough evidence of a new or changed association to justify further analysis. At confirmation, the PRAC rapporteur, or lead member state, decides within 30 days whether a validated signal needs analysis by PRAC. Validated signals are recorded in EPIT, the European Pharmacovigilance Issues Tracking Tool. Together with PRAC recommendations, this process links signal evaluation to regulatory decision-making in a structured way. Routine measures apply to every authorized medicine and are the first line of risk minimization. The 5 routine tools are the summary of product characteristics, the package leaflet, the labeling on the packaging, the pack size, and the legal status. The summary of product characteristics is the foundation because it contains contraindications, warnings, precautions, dose adjustments, and required monitoring. Additional measures are justified only when routine measures cannot reduce risk to an acceptable level. Additional tools fall into measures that provide education and safety advice, and measures that control access or use. Educational tools include guides for patients and healthcare professionals, prescriber checklists, risk awareness dialogue aids, patient cards, and patient diaries. Controlled access tools include prescriber training or qualification requirements, pharmacy or facility accreditation, traceability systems, documented information exchange, and verification that a safe use condition is met before supply. These measures must be targeted, justified, and proportionate to the risk. A major example is valproate pregnancy prevention. The safety concern is that babies exposed to valproate in the womb are at high risk of malformations and developmental problems. Because routine measures had not prevented exposed pregnancies, an additional program was required. Its elements include assessment of pregnancy potential, pregnancy testing, counseling on risks and contraception, and annual specialist review with a signed risk acknowledgement form. Valproate is contraindicated in pregnancy for migraine and bipolar disorder and for epilepsy unless no other effective treatment is available. GVP Module 16 expects effectiveness indicators to be defined prospectively before a measure is implemented. Measurement works at three levels: dissemination and knowledge, behavior, and health outcomes. Process indicators show whether the measure reached and was understood by its audience, such as distribution rates and survey knowledge scores. Outcome indicators show whether the risk actually fell, such as the rate of exposed pregnancies or the adverse reaction itself. For valproate, worked indicators include the proportion of women of childbearing potential with a documented annual review and signed form, and the prevalence of valproate-exposed pregnancies. Published evaluations found modest reductions in use but continuing exposed pregnancies. They also found awareness that remained inadequate among professionals and patients. This shows why measuring real-world effectiveness matters, not just designing the measure. In the United States, a risk evaluation and mitigation strategy is a required Food and Drug Administration safety program for medicines with serious identified risks. The authority comes from Section 505-1 of the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, created by the Food and Drug Administration Amendments Act of 2007. Permitted elements include a medication guide or patient package insert, a communication plan, elements to assure safe use, an implementation system, and an assessment timetable. In the European Union, equivalent controls sit inside the risk management plan as additional risk minimization measures. PRAC was established in 2012 and is the European Medicines Agency committee responsible for assessing and monitoring the safety of human medicines. It meets monthly and sends recommendations to the Committee for Medicinal Products for Human Use for centrally authorized products, and to the Coordination Group for Mutual Recognition and Decentralized Procedures for nationally authorized ones. Referral routes include Article 31, Article 20, and the Article 107I Urgent Union Procedure. Outcomes range from product information changes and new restrictions to direct healthcare professional communications, suspension, or revocation. A well-known example is rofecoxib. Merck withdrew Vioxx worldwide on 30 September 2004 after AP-PROVE showed increased confirmed serious thrombotic events beyond 18 months versus placebo. This example shows how new evidence can shift the benefit-risk balance and lead to major regulatory or company action. Medicine risk management does not end at authorization. You have seen how benefit-risk thinking, the risk management plan, safety concern classification, pharmacovigilance, risk minimization, signal management, and PRAC actions work together across a product's lifecycle. When the balance changes, the system is built to detect it, evaluate it, and act.